Hey, what's up, everybody? BDO44 coming at you in another video. All right. So, of course, Lakers sentiment is bad. I'm listening to everybody. Their feelings are hurt. They're real sad right now. And if you follow me, I try to leave everybody prepared for every scenario I see. And to be honest with you, if I were his friend, like literally his friend, if he was my homeboy, I would have advised him to do what he did. And I did in this camera. You guys may stumble upon that video. I said that if I'm his friend, I'm telling him you need to opt in with the Nets and don't demand a trade and wait for them to trade you. Because they are going to come to the conclusion, if they're thinking clearly, that they don't need you at $36 million. If we're all thinking clearly and you remove the media from the situation, everybody, just pretend they don't exist for a second. You're the Nets and you have a player that you didn't even have play for you this last year for reasons that had to do with stuff that we already understand, but you have to perceive it a certain way. So it's like he wasn't on the floor for us, but he was healthy, right? And we just dealt with that. He opts in to take $36 million of our dollars. Why am I happy about this? See, the media make you think that the Nets should be thrilled about this. Laker fans, are you going to be thrilled about Russell Westbrook opting in to his $47 million contract on Wednesday? Because that's exactly what's going to happen. Now, picture the media painting the picture that that's something that would disappoint us if he didn't. Because that's essentially what they've done here with Kyrie Irving. They want to paint the picture that he's an undesirable player, but they also want to paint the picture that we should be disappointed that he didn't take our $36 million. We can't have it both ways. First of all, so while I look at all of this and I say, that's why I look in this camera and give you so many different scenarios, because I understand that we are corrupted by these narratives. They have taken our emotions and told us that this man is going to leave $30 million on the table for Laker Nation. Now, how many games has he ever played for the Lakers? How many games has Kyrie Irving ever played for the Lakers? When was the last time you seen Kyrie Irving sliding down Crenshaw? Like, he's not from out here. What the heck kind of incentive does he have to leave $30 million on the table to join the team that he has no ties to? Other than LeBron James, the guy who, if you listen to that same media, told you that he couldn't wait to get away from about 10 years ago. He's rushing to get back to that dude and going to leave $30 million on the table to do so. How does this make sense? So it's like, yes, our feelings can be hurt, but we got to understand why our feelings are hurt. Our feelings are hurt because they brought him up to the ceiling to drop him down to the ground. That's what they did to us. Kyrie didn't do this. Kyrie didn't do this at all. When did Kyrie Irving come out in the media and say, hey, everybody, check this out. I'm not happy with the Nets, so I'm considering going to the Lakers for $6 million. So await my decision. See you guys later. I didn't hear that video. Did you guys see that video? I didn't see that video. I must have missed that one. And that's the point. These people will make you hate this man for doing something that you wouldn't tell him to do if you was his friend. They're going to make you mad at him for doing something that you wouldn't do yourself. They're going to have you mad at him for not leaving $30 million on the table when you got two players on your team that could leave money on the table too right now. Not that I would ever ask him to do that, but you're not asking to do that either. But you're asking the new guy who has no ties to you to do so, and somehow you're disappointed that he didn't do that. Tell me how it makes sense. This is why it's important we think for ourselves. This is why I believe in the new media, because it has to be a balance to all of this. We are going through a 101 class of why this is toxic. Because our entire fan base is sitting here waiting for this man to do something totally wrong for his family, leaving $30 million on the table to join our basketball team for one single year, as to which we'll probably trade him at the trade deadline because of it. They ain't going to tell you that. But as a GM mind, I know that's what makes sense. If I'm Rob Pelinka, I'm not keeping Kyrie Irving at $6 million expiring. Why? Because I can get a first-round pick for him and then some. And guess what? He's going to expire. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to sign him. I'm going to bring him right back. Just like, what was this? Al Horford? Bring him back a year later to the Celtics? That's the exact same thing I'm going to do. And he's going to be playing with the player I traded him for. This is how GMs think. So I'm not the type of fan who's just going to listen to the media and move as according to the way that they move, because I think like a GM so I can read tea leaves. I'm not rolling. And I'm not going to let my people that follow me roll. We ain't going to just buy any old thing. We're going to be ready for any and everything there is, because they will allow us to be miserable about something that doesn't make any sense to be miserable about as a fan. And you're going to be sitting up here like, oh my God, Kyrie Irving didn't sign with my team. because he wasn't going to leave $30 million on the table. I'm sorry, that doesn't make any sense, for one. And two, if you look at it for what it actually is, in order for him to actually join the Lakers, one of the scenarios that needed to happen was for him to opt in. And then from there, we would match the salaries. That was always part of what we were thinking all week long. Now, they will make you forget that part. They will make you forget that part. But that was part of what needed to happen. Just this morning, they released information saying he asked the Nets to look for sign and trade options. We reported on that hours ago. So that means that we knew he was going to opt in. Think about it. Why would we be disappointed about something that we already knew he was going to do hours ago? Doesn't make any sense to me. But it's how that information is presented to you that'll affect the emotions. It'll affect how you feel your team is going to be able to build going forward. Make you think you can't get Kyrie Irving on the team at all. And make you think that make the Nets fans feel like he was coming to the Lakers all week long. Like, these are emotional imbalances that they put you on these roller coasters for the offseason so that they keep you talking about the teams, keep you talking about the league while there ain't no games being played. But the problem is they do it in such a way that really affects how we treat the players when we see them in Boston. Now you're throwing stuff at people. You're giving the finger to people because of not necessarily what you've concluded, but because of some of these narratives that have been painted and these roller coasters have been put on place for you to be, all up in arms about these players and their movements and what they're going to do with their lives. We went through this with Carmelo Anthony as Laker fans. We went through this with LaMarcus Aldridge. We went through this with LeBron James. We went through this with Anthony Davis. Every summer it's a new guy. Kawhi Leonard. They always do this. They need to do this because it keeps them talking about the Lakers. So now that we see the pattern, it's very important that we understand why guys like Draymond Green, their voice is important. Why guys like Kyrie Irving, when they speak, their voice is important. Why guys like LeBron James in the shop, their voice is important. Because it gives us a balance to these roller coasters that we're put on as fans that make us feel a certain way about these players without actually hearing from them. We need to hear from them. This is why we need to hear from them. Because these corporations and these media people, they're going to keep us on this roller coaster. And this is going to get worse and worse. You know what I mean? It just is what it is. I don't want to speak nothing into the universe, but I do not like how they strum up the fans to feel certain ways about things that, quite frankly, are none of our business. How much money that man makes, none of our business. That he give money back to his team in order for our team to be good should not be two things that come together at all. That is something broken in the system. There should be no reason we are equating his salary to the betterment of our team or the worst way our team would be built. There's no way those two things should be coming together in any way, shape, or form. That is wrong. Because the confusion there is when I say a guy shouldn't get $6-7 million. Now, I have to clarify that I'm not saying I'm hating on the man getting his money in real life. That conundrum should not be in place at all, in my opinion. No. My team should be just as good as it needs to be. I shouldn't even be thinking about his salary. Why am I thinking about that man's salary? Why am I thinking about that man's money? As it pertains to my team being good enough. And so those type of things, that needs to be erased. We need to get that out of the game, in my opinion. That needs to go away. And I do believe that there's a lot to learn. Just like Dre says, there's a lot to learn about the game, man. We don't have to talk about some of this other stuff. We don't have to go on these emotional roller coasters. The game itself is going to give us plenty of that. You're going to have plenty of that. From the ebbs and flows of basketball itself, from the way that these teams are built and the actual transactions that are made. I don't need this. I don't need this roller coaster, man. This is bad. You know what I mean? This is bad for the fans. You got little kids sad and crying because Kyrie ain't coming to the Lakers. For what? For what? When the tea leaves show that certain things were going to fall into place like this any damn way. He was most definitely opting in. Now what happens next? Who knows? Maybe it's up to the Nets what they want to do. He's made his intentions clear that he's going to see them in the fall. Period. Now it's up to the Nets at $36 million to make a decision on whether or not they're going to keep the contract that they have. You know what I mean? So the ball's now in their court. He got paid, and that was what was supposed to happen. If the media was giving us what we're supposed to receive, all that should have been said is it's likely he opts in. At that time, we'll see what happens. And that's the real only news there ever was. All this other stuff, this was them strumming at your heartstrings. Unnecessarily, in my humble opinion. So, I'm feeling it too, Laker fans. I'm a little salty, but I understand why. I very much understand why, and I'm fighting against it, and I think all of us should do the same thing. Don't let that get you all caught up in thinking that it's actually a good idea for anybody, including yourself, to leave $30 million on the table in regards to playing basketball. No. If we're rooting for that, there's something wrong with us, and there's something wrong with the system that would make it so that we'd have to do that. So keep that in mind as you enjoy your basketball, people. My name is BDL44. I thank you all for watching. I'm out.